Welcome to The Crunch, the only podcast that can turn that frown upside down. What's so funny about
That's a good one. That's a good wholesome one.
I'm trying to help people.
Yeah, it's good. I'm Patrick. Who are you again?
I'm Ethan. I'm a bit of a love doctor, and I'm here to save
Yeah.
the day. You come here
For those
with
of
your
you,
woes. You come here with your burdens, I'm like, you ever seen the movie The Love Guru?
no.
Okay, well, first step, don't watch The Love Guru. But if you find yourself watching the Love Guru with Stephen Carell, who I believe is in the film, that's basically me and what I'm gonna
He
do.
always plays. He always plays the guy that can't get ladies. Steve Carell.
Oh no, it's Mike Myers.
Oh,
Swing and a miss.
same guy, in my
Swing and
opinion.
a miss. Okay.
Mid 2000s heartthrobs.
Yeah.
Mike Myers, Steve Carell.
I'm gonna call Mike Myers a heartthrob, given that his
Mike
most
Myers,
famous role is
the
for
actor. No, I'm talking about Mike
an
Myers, the actor.
ogre. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the actor.
Uh-huh.
The New York financier,
Uh-huh.
Mike
You're
Myers.
very funny. Yeah.
Thank you.
What are we doing here today? What's going on?
We're not making any more Epstein Island jokes. I tell you that much. We did that.
No,
Our
no,
last
no, no.
episode. If you guys are
No.
new to the Crunch Catholic podcast, not the
Jeffrey
Crunch
Epstein was a New York financier, and what he did was
If you're new to the Crunch, we released an episode on Sunday. Ethan and I have been buddies since we started our podcast back in 2016, and over the
long
course of
time.
those 7 years, we've gotten a lot of questions from our listeners about dating, and so we decided
Yes.
to make it so much so that Ethan has received an honorary doctorate from the University of Johns Hopkins Medical Center.
I would say I got a dishonorable doctorate.
He got a dishonorable discharge from
the hospital.
university, from Johns Hopkins.
Getting dishonorably discharged from the hospital. They treated you, but you were an asshole.
You're concerned, but we're not happy about it. We want you to be really sick.
That's funny.
There's like just getting discharged from the hospital and telling everyone you were honorably discharged from the hospital. As they wheeled you out, they did the 21 gun salute.
You go to the mall and you wear the hospital gown, and some guy comes out, "That's stolen valor."
Thank you for your service.
My dad had surgery. How dare you?
You walk out of there wheeling the ivy, and people are like, "Thank you for your service."
Some guy comes up, he's like filming you. He's like, he doesn't even tie the back of his gown right. What unit were you in?
I can see the whole butt. Look. Oh my gosh. So Ethan has a doctorate in dating. I'm a nurse practitioner of dating, and we are going to answer three questions from our listeners. Ethan, if people wanted to submit questions about their dating woes to the Love Doctor, how would they go about doing that?
We have a Discord community that has a channel specifically dedicated to submitting dating questions. So you're going to go to bit.ly/crunch discord, and you're going to scroll to the Dating Corner chat, and you are going to submit your question. And from there, our expert level archivists will store it and put it in a very special hermetically sealed vault that then gets hand delivered to Patrick before the beginning of each episode. And we crack open the relevant questions and we answer them. So straight from your hands to God's ears, and back again.
I'm really excited for this week's series of questions. I always try to do like one fun one common one, try to mix up the guys and the gals. We got a lot of really great questions stored up from our break.
Yes.
All right. But
huge for
keep
us.
them coming.
Keep them coming because we always need more. We want to help you.
We always need more. This one comes from the pianist. 2217 on Discord. The girl that I like. It's a very short question, but I think it's poignant. I think a lot of the fellas struggle with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
The girl I like has been my friend for about 3 years. How do you go about asking to being more than friends? How does dating your friend work? Can I give an example?
Yeah, I would love this.
So here's what you do. Here's what you do.
This is an example.
Wait,
if you're just doing advice.
It's not an example. Sorry, this is advice. This is. Can I give the bad advice? I want to give the bad advice on this one.
Absolutely.
You wait until you're hanging out with a group of friends. You make it so obvious that you're trying to be the last two. together. You just obnoxiously like, oh, I'll drive you home, or I'll drop you off first. Like, go out of the way to drop the one friend off, and then like when you're driving home or when you're alone at the end of the night, like really quiet, you just look at them and go, I have something I need to tell you.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, hold on. I have something I need to tell you.
Oh, no. Oh, it's like you fired a gun at me. I feel like I got hit with a 50 caliber bullet in my chest. Dude.
Oh man.
That is bad advice.
That's what you gotta do, man.
Never tell a girl that you have to tell her something.
No, she knows
Almost
exactly what it
because
is.
even when you're married, like if I were to go up to Emma after this podcast, I said, "Hey, I have to tell you something." She'd go, "What's wrong?
Who's dead?"
Yeah, like what's the problem? And then I have to like calmly explain to her that I just want to go get ice cream. So instead, instead, what I do is I say, "Hey, I want to go get ice cream." You know, so don't. So
Yeah.
if you do go down that route, which I don't advise,
Yeah.
just
Because prefacing your statements and your questions, or like, I have to ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Can I
That's-
ask you a question? Is insane.
That's girl behavior. Girls do that. They
Yeah.
text you that so that you're looking at your phone when they ask you the question.
Yes.
They do that. This
Yes.
is what my wife does. She's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, can I ask you a question?" I was like, "Phoebe, just ask the question. You've already
Yep.
wasted a text, and now I
Yes.
gotta sit here."
Yep.
Or you could have called me. Those are the two options. If you want my attention, those are the two things.
It feels like you need to be having this conversation and not on the podcast.
No. This is not like real marriage problem. This is like,
Sure.
my husband always leaves the cabinets open. I always
Yes.
leave the cabinets open. Do you leave the
Ow.
cabinets open?
I used to, but now since we moved, we have
You
these
guys
kind
don't
of
have cabinets, yeah.
they sort of we do have cabinets.
I was
What are you
telling
talking
Phoebe about them. You guys have like open shelves, like all of your dishes are on
Well, we still
shelves.
have cabinets below. We still
Oh, sure, but those are easier to close.
You just
always
whack
remember to
'em with your
close those
foot.
'cause of the yeah.
Yeah.
But I was telling Phoebe, I was like, what we should do is we should have like the Stevie house where there's no cabinets up top, so I never forget to close the cabinets.
Right. Yes.
Or I could just close the cabinet. All right, sorry,
You
Ethan.
could
What do
just
you
close the
think?
cabinets.
Doctor?
We've even taken the door off of the pantry, so I can't forget to close the pantry. There's like nothing in the kitchen that the kitchen has been made Ethan proof. So
It's
I
hard
don't
to
have
baby
any.
proof and Ethan proof the kitchen, yeah.
I know, but somehow Emma has figured it out. How do you? I think so. If you've been friends with this girl for like a long time, you cannot. There's no good way to do it, right? Because
Yeah.
she probably thinks that you do not like her.
Probably.
Probably. There is a world in which you have been very tactless and you've made it very obvious that you like her.
I feel like there's more than a non-zero chance that that's the case.
Well, I'm just assuming the
Usually how it
best
goes.
in our listeners because they're so suave and smart.
He's
I'm assuming
so
you're like a
guile-
Daniel, you're a Daniel Craig, James Bond-esque suave operator. Okay? That's the
Foghorn
assumption.
Leghorn, Daniel Craig or James Bond?
Foghorn Leg.
The guy from Knives Out.
I
A
know.
Glass Onion store.
I was just thinking about you. You're pissing too damn loud. You know that video?
It sounds like you're frying chicken in the bowl, son.
You need to hit it on the side.
You hit it in the dead center of the bowl, son.
Oh, I love that video. Okay.
You're frying chicken in there, boy.
All right. You distracted me with Foghorn Leghorn. Okay. There's no good way to do this. So the only way to do it is to go up to her and to say, "Hey, I know we've been friends for 3 years, but I have developed feelings for you, and I would love to take you out on a date. Is that something that you'd be okay with?" And then
Direct.
Right. That's very direct because then it leaves it. If she says no, then it's like, okay, it's not okay with you. Doesn't change that I have feelings for you, but I'm just not going to pursue this. Great. We can just keep being friends. And it doesn't have to be weird. So you have to go into it saying she could very well just prefer the friendship. And that's okay. So if you kind of approach it, say, I would like to change. You have to come at it with like I would like to change the nature of our relationship. Like I would like to ask you out and take you on a date and go from being friends to being more than friends. What you can't do is do like I like you. Because that doesn't change any, like you liking her doesn't really change the nature of your relationship. There's nothing that
Yeah, it's
it
just, oh,
just
now
you're
you're
just
friends with like a little bit of,
telling a
spice.
girl that you like her without asking her out is a weak, sad thing to do. Because what it
Yeah, no,
does
that's
is
not a good move. Yeah.
you're effectively putting the ball in her court and asking her to say, well, I like you too. That's what you're hoping is going to happen. What you need to actually do is say, I would like to take you out on a formal date because I'm interested in dating you. I would like to go to dinner with you. Um, are you interested? Because then that's great for the woman, because then she can go to dinner with you and then she can decide if she likes you, because she's probably not thought about it. She probably has not considered you as a romantic partner.
I don't
But
know
if
if
you
that's
give her,
necessarily true.
it's not necessarily true. She probably has, but like,
Yeah.
it gives her an opportunity to seriously decide, more so than like when all the girls are together and they're chatting about the boys.
Ooh, what about the pianist 217?
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about that, Patrick? Do you think I'm
I think
fair in
that's
my
solid
assessment?
advice. No,
Yeah.
I think the hey is a little too much though. I would take the hey off. Hey,
Hey.
I like, because you say hey and she's like, he likes me. Split second.
This is
He likes me.
crazy. Yeah.
Too much. Because you guys are, first of all, no man is that secretive. I get
No.
no
She can
freaking way.
tell.
She
Yeah.
could tell, she could sniff it, she could smell it, she could taste it.
Right.
You say hey, split second, you might as well just be like, I love you. Just right off. You might as well just, you
Yeah.
gotta say, I almost said hey. It's so hard not
It's
to.
so hard not to. Right.
But when you're having a conversation with a person, you don't go, hey Ethan,
Hey.
when you're already
Hey.
talking.
Hey sounds
But
like
when
a
you're in the
premeditated act,
Yeah. When you're in the
You,
middle of talking, not over text, not over phone, not over FaceTime, you just gotta tell her, I like you. I'm interested in pursuing this. Would you like to go on a date with me? That's cool. What you said. That's cool. I like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. And then you gotta be detached from outcomes. This is big in life, is that you
Yes.
can't base your whole self-worth on whether or not she says yes. The thing that makes you a man is how you act in the situation with your emotions, not whether or not she says yes to going on a date with you. The
Ooh,
boyish thing
that's
to
so
do,
smart. Yes.
the boyish thing to do is to wait for her to make a move, or to kind of like wait until there's like a physical opportunity so that you can try to do something. That's what boys do. What a man does is he says, "This is how I feel. I'm going to act on it, and then I'm going to keep living my life regardless of what happens." And now's your opportunity to be a big guy. So hit the
Proud of
weights.
you. Let us know how it goes. Delete
Hit the
Facebook.
weights. Let us know how it
Lawyer up.
goes. Yeah, do delete Facebook. Don't purchase a lawyer, because I have claimed to have a doctorate and I don't. And we don't need any legal infractions to be levied
Oh
against the
man.
podcast. More than there already have been.
All right. I would like to go to a little more of a serious question from Demi. It's about
Okay. Lovato?
sins. Yes. No. Hold on. Let me look.
Camp Rock.
She kind of looks like Demi Lovato. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Demi. No, you don't. That was mean. I don't know if it
What
was
does it
mean.
mean? Demi Lovato is famous.
That's true. Famous, therefore better.
She was in Camp Rock 1 and 2, and she was also in Demi Lovato. And she was also in Instagram
Princess
and
Protection Program.
she was also in demilovato.com, and she was also in wikipedia.org/Demi
I don't think you're on
Lovato.
IMDb.
I'm in the wrong website.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't in much else besides the 3 things that we named, unfortunately. All right, carry on. What does Demi
Boy.
Lovato need
Anyway,
from us?
so Demi Lovato wants to know that, I'm sure she gets that all the time. That's so funny. Hey
Probably
guys,
annoying.
is it appropriate to ask a potential partner about their past life and sins? Or should we just forget about those things if they've been forgiven in confession? I think it can help you grow closer with someone if you're not judging them, but is it right or wrong? I think this is a good question.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with, because it's like, especially girls, it's like, I want to know if this guy has, you know, I want to know if this guy's done things that he shouldn't be doing.
Like
You know,
what?
I
Like
don't know,
smoked a
like,
fat reefer?
Yeah, like
in
smoke a
someone
fat
else's
reefer in my
apartment.
apartment.
Yeah. That makes
Sorry.
sense.
The
So the question
Discord is
is,
open on my computer, and the admin chat is like freaking out because someone who was banned got back into the Discord. Whatever. That's not our
really?
problem anymore. Yeah.
Whoa, hold on. Put the dating corner on
No, we
pause.
can't pause the show to manage the Discord. That's why we have mods.
This is so funny. This is like when you're a doctor and you're like visiting
Oh, when
someone.
you kick someone, they can come back. That's what they didn't ban them. They kicked.
You got to ban him. Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
crazy.
ban them.
All right,
Gotta
Demi,
kick him again or
you got to ban all thoughts of being afraid of this conversation because
yeah.
this is
We're
a
not
good
talking
and
about
normal.
the Discord.
This is a good and normal conversation to have. So you just have to pick the right moment. Like on the third date, probably not. But if you've been dating someone for 6 months, it's probably an okay time to bring up the conversation.
Yeah,
So
I think that's fair.
I think there's a flawed expectation when you want to have this conversation too early because what a lot of people do is they're really wanting to make sure like, oh, I don't want to be with someone who's damaged. I don't want to be with someone who has baggage. So let me figure this out early so that I don't have to deal with it and I can just break up with them if it makes me uncomfortable.
Ooh, yeah, good point.
And then you don't actually it feels like sometimes people don't want to date the other person. They want to date like a set of attributes. And one of those attributes is
Yeah.
hasn't had sex or, has only hooked up with so many girls. And if they've hooked up with more than this many girls, then I am not really that interested. And so I think you have to divorce the expectation of someone fitting that set of attributes that you have in your mind from the reality, because people are complex. Someone who there are people who have crazy lives full of drugs, sex, alcohol, partying, all these things that have had intense conversions that are way holier than you would ever be. And there's also people that have never had sex with a single person and are not holy at all. Right. And so it matters because these things are important, right? And we all have wounds and things that we bring into relationships, and it's good to know what types of things we're bringing into a relationship.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't matter, And so that's why I say wait a couple of months and get to know the person and make sure you're dating them for them and not dating them for something about them, if that makes sense.
I know of a young girl who was in high school and she, dated the guy who ostensibly was, a good guy. He was, youth group. He didn't have sex before marriage. For all as she knows, he did not watch pornography. And he still tried to do weird things with her when they were alone. And so it's like you can't judge someone's present virtue by their past, right? Or their present vice by their past. They might be vicious and they just haven't had an opportunity to act on it yet. It's like you got to get to know them first. So yeah, I think it's like what are you trying to glean from that information, and then is that information actually going to get you the information you want? No, it's not.
No,
because you want to know if they're a good partner, and you have to figure that out. You can't just be like, they have done X, Y, Z.
Yeah, it's weird. It's hard because I had these conversations and I always felt they were good, but we've never revisited them. We talked about it once, but it's never been something that has been important in our relationship. If something is relevant or pertinent,
yours and mine.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, just all the times that we've shared. I think I have mentioned to Emma, and she doesn't care. She thinks it's fine. She loves Fiduciana Supplicanis. This is her favorite document. I don't know what the actual name of the document is. I make up a new pronunciation every time.
Fiduciana Supplicanis. All of a sudden, just a ferret appears out of nowhere. It's like, turns out that was a Harry Potter spell you did.
The ferret's gay. What are we gonna do?
You can't make Fiduciana Supplicanis jokes in front of other people.
Why not?
They don't like. People don't like it in real life. I made a Fiduciana.
It is an inside baseball thing.
I made a joke in front of someone and at church. I made a joke about it at church, and everyone got sad when I did it. I told you about that. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Demi, you're doing great. You have good instincts here. But don't go overboard with this. it's an easy thing to overdo. So just enjoy.
Yeah,
I think
clear
people
cut.
need
I
to
think
just
yeah,
enjoy dating. Like there's a lot of like stress. It's like, why don't you just have
yeah,
fun? And then when something naturally happens, let it naturally happen instead of
yeah.
thinking like, oh, I have to get through this checklist before I get engaged or before I decide I want to date this person seriously. It's like, what if you
And
just like had fun? You
she
know?
said potential partner too. So it's
Yeah.
like
So
I
it
think
doesn't
the
even sound
answer
like
is
they're
just no.
dating.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
answer is
So
just
like
no. It's not
answer
appropriate to ask a
daily
potential
double.
partner.
Do 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 do. Don't date this guy. I mean, date him, but like, don't have this conversation before you start dating him
Yeah.
because it's weird that people want to have all this emotional intimacy before they know somebody. It's like a weird filter.
But it's out of a desire for safety, and you can't
Right. I get
unfortunately,
it.
safety
Yeah.
is not guaranteed. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to be vulnerable. You have to risk it to get the biscuit, as they used to say.
As they say, when we were a proper country, we said.
When we were schoolboys in the schoolyard playing football.
I I do feel kind of bad about
Yeah.
the banning in the Discord that's going on. I do feel like we're
Why?
just like the second
You
someone kind of steps out of line and we're
but
like,
have
I
you
don't know
did
if
you
you
see the things that these people were saying?
no.
Yeah, so don't
Okay.
it,
I
it
trust you guys. I trust you.
yeah,
I want to make sure above all that the Discord is a place where people feel comfortable and have fun.
yeah.
And
This
so
guy
if
was
people are in
saying
there
things
making people
like
feel
as soon as women are out of their 20s, they don't like having sex anymore. Things like that. That were just like very
the guy
misogynistic.
the guy who was in high school was saying that?
No, the guy is his guy, he
Oh.
claims to be married and have multiple kids. And he says,
Oh, buddy,
"This is so
sorry.
funny. This was so I know, or it's like, man, you could take a class or something." But
Yeah,
the he was saying that NFP was was wrong. It was contraception, and he was
yeah,
saying you should abstain. NFP is unnatural because it prevents and reduces the chance of contraception or of conception. And I
conception.
responded to him and I said, "Well, abstention is unnatural because it prevents and reduces the chance of conception." So like, what are we
Conception.
talking about? You like what?
Yeah,
Don't you know what you just don't know what NFP is apparently.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah,
regardless,
no,
not important.
I abstain from talking about these things, so to speak, because
Hmm,
because of things like this, where the guy's like, yeah, women after 29 don't want to have sex anymore. Dude, if you
buddy.
buddy, come on, like the
They
only way you would know that presumably is your wife. So
dude,
why would you just tell on your marriage like that?
have you seen the Duggars on TLC? That woman is like 85.
And she's got like
And
octuplets.
right, and she's going that's the other one. That's the Octomom.
Oh, that wasn't natural. That was all in vitro.
Pretty much anything above triplets is always in vitro.
Really?
Yes. And in a lot of cases, many twins are in vitro and many triplets are in vitro. It's very, very rare for triplets to be natural, but it does happen. And I don't think there's ever been a recorded case of quadruplets not being in
Hmm,
vitro.
hmm.
So,
Interesting.
yeah. Well, it makes sense because they pump a bunch of sperm in there to like hopefully get one to survive. And sometimes two or three or four survive. Sometimes eight in the case of the
The
Octomom.
Octomom.
We should get the Octomom on the podcast. It's like, what car do you drive?
Do you
Because
mean
you
do you
you
mean
need eight
Ursula?
seatbelts.
Because what car has 8 seatbelts?
Car has eight seatbelts that are all
A
in the
Ford
driver's seat.
Transit, obviously. That's what
That's
every
true.
homeschool mom drives. I'm
I
sure
don't
you
think
know a
this
few.
woman homeschools her kids.
No, sends them to
Yeah.
a public school. Bleh.
Would you homeschool 8 kids you're just running a
No,
school? Like that's not
no.
homeschooling. That's just you are operating a schoolhouse.
I think at that point you actually do have to like register with the government after
Yeah.
8 kids in one
Back
house.
in the day when there was a woman who would run a schoolhouse, it was like an eighth grade boy and a fifth grade girl and like two third graders and like five first
Yeah,
graders. And she would
yeah,
teach
yeah.
like little English, middle English, and big English to like the everybody, you know?
Middle English.
And like the eighth grader got math and he could leave to go work in the fields. It's different now.
Halfway through the day. The
Yeah.
West Virginia passed this law that was like, we'll give $9,000 of tax credits back to people who homeschool their kids. And my professor who has 9 kids is like, like, my wife could just like have a full time job on the government dole. Like,
Yes.
Just ridiculous. Or no, maybe it was 5,000 per kid. It's like 45 grand a year in tax credits. He's like, we should just move to West Virginia.
Wait till I tell you how easy it is to get a full-time job on the government dole. All you gotta do is hop the border, move to California.
Hop the border to California.
From Mexico is what I mean. Patrick, come on, read the room. Tell me the last question. The last dating question.
This one's from Courtster. I'm excited for this one because am I being too picky? And usually the answer is yes.
Yes.
So I'm calling the shot now.
Okay, I'm gonna take the no. I'm gonna take the no. This is a 3-1. 3-1 bet.
Am I being too picky with online dating or not picky enough?
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I didn't read the whole thing.
Okay.
I usually respond to any message any guy sends me and chat until he asks for a video call.
Same.
Sometimes Sometimes I have to use the boys as if you ask me to do a call, say yes. Oh, okay. So sometimes she has to say that to him.
Right.
But so long as he does, I'll continue the conversation. So far, the video calls are usually meh. Okay. But so long as there aren't red flags, if he asks me on a date, I'll go. But then the dates are always meh, as in the conversation is forced. He and I don't connect. Am I being picky? Am I not being picky enough in the initial online part, or am I being too picky in the in-person part? Oh, this is an interesting dynamic. Maybe if she's more picky, it's like, oh, any guy who chats with me, I'll chat. Any guy who asks, I'll go. But am I being too picky with once they're on the date? That's interesting. This is an interesting question. What do you think, Doctor?
I think it's hard to be picky if you go on a date with someone and you have a bad experience. I don't think it's picky to say that was a bad experience. I don't think that's you being picky.
I don't know if it's bad experience. I think it's just forced, no connection, which is normal for a first date, I think.
Is it?
Maybe it's not. You know what? I don't know. I've never been on
I've been on a few first dates in my life.
No, I've been on a few dates. Never mind.
The ones that were good were good. Like you walk away wanting more. And the ones that were bad, we walk away saying, I could go without ever doing this again.
Yeah, never mind.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I feel like if she's walking away saying, I don't really want to see him again, that constitutes a bad date. So
yeah, I think that I've been on those before. Yeah. Once or twice. Yeah. In the 6 months I was single.
Yes. Oh, I remember. What an electric time. Women of Steubenville, beware for that period of time. It was
I was a pariah. I was a social outcast. People hated me.
Yeah, because you kept stealing everyone's girl.
Apparently. I definitely not intentionally. Accused of that, yes.
I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if it's possible to be too picky. I think it's better to not be picky online because you want to.
Yeah.
You need to view this as a leads and conversions to meetings game. Like you need a lot of leads and you need to get a lot of meetings with qualified prospects.
You got to keep your pipeline full. All right.
You got the pipeline full.
You got to.
I think the more guys that you're matching with and the more guys you're having conversations with, the more likely it is that you will find one.
You gotta be driving to the University of Iowa. You gotta be swiping. All right, just swiping.
You're making fun of me.
Yeah.
I tried the high volume method. It did not work. But you, as a woman, can try the high volume method because
it will work.
Because it will work. Because it's bent in your favor. So I would say I don't think you're being too picky. I think especially with online dating, the volume is so low. And you probably feel like if you're on a Catholic Match-esque service. Did she say Catholic Match or what was she on?
I think she's on some kind of Catholic Match-esque service, not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Did you see they're looking for dating influencers? They did a casting call for like a single, unfortunately. I know.
What's the purpose of having a single dating influencer? What the hell do they know?
I was wondering the same thing. I was like, for some reason, there's something compelling about like an Arlene Spenceley. You know Arlene, right?
Yeah.
She's like she was a blog. For those of you who don't know Arlene Spenceley, she was a single. She's no longer single. She's getting married. I think she did. I don't know. But she was like the Chastity is for Lovers girl. She was basically single and I was talking about dating and all this stuff. And it was like compelling because you were like rooting for her. Like, Arlene, you are going to find Mr. Right. Like, you are going to do it. Like, he's going to be there. And it's great. But for me, the idea of like a male Arlene, like, just doesn't sit well. It's like, oh, you're single? Why don't you just not be? Go fix that. Like, you can just meet someone, right? They're all over the place. It's like, put that in your, you know. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I think we should be dating influencers. And
I don't think I want to be a dating influencer. I think you
I
can
do.
be a dating influencer.
I think I could if I tried. I will try. I have some plans. Oh yeah. What were we saying? Oh, I think you underestimate how many matches women on apps like Hinge and Tinder and Bumble are getting on a day-to-day basis. So I think
I underestimate that.
No. I think Courtster underestimates. Okay. So I think even if you think that you have a lot of men that you're talking to right now, you don't. So I think because Catholic Match is naturally just a way smaller dating pool. And so I think you need to accept, like, I think what your approach is like accepting every conversation, keeping it going until there's a video call or there's like some other red flag or reason to stop the conversation. I think that's the right approach because setting a limit on an already limited dating pool doesn't make any sense for someone who is actively trying to get married. Like you want to have the widest, you know, supply of fish coming into the net as possible. And so you can pull them up onto your barge.
If you're a little systematic about this, no guy is going to be upset. He's not going to be like, oh, I was just another prospect. No, he's going to be like, yes, you were doing this to find me and you did it. And he's going to feel great.
Yes. So I would encourage you to be even less picky than you are now. So if anybody wants to DM this woman on Discord, we said her handle. So you're welcome.
Discord is a dating app. Dude, we need to do a matchmaking thread on Discord.
I know. I don't know how to do that without it being absolutely bonkers. I just don't know if I can do that.
Ethan, you have to understand this is long game. The more
we need to
people get married because of our podcast, the more people.
What we need to do is we need to do like a dating show where we pre-screen contestants and then we host a digital like dating program.
Oh, that makes so fun. That would be so fun. We just need a major sponsor for it, but no one would do that. This is the problem. It's like
I know.
We need Catholic Chemistry or Catholic Match to sponsor a YouTube video of sorts. Yeah. Honestly, what we should do is we should have the idea and we should do it with John because I think he's got a better artistic eye for that. I just texted him congratulations because of the thing that he's been doing at Seek. I didn't ask him because he's in Seek.
What did he do? Oh, John Donahue. I thought you meant John Blevins, and I was like, sure, I guess.
No, John Donahue. Donahue.
Yeah.
He broke the world record for most daps in a week. He did it. Day 4. It's a made up
record. I could have broken it.
Oh, sure, but you didn't. And guess what? He broke it with 5,000.
I could read the Bible in here. No problem.
He broke it with 5,000, and his 5,000 DAP was Father Mike Schmitz.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
It's so fun. And his video of it was so good. But I just texted him congratulations, but I was gonna say I want to collaborate with you on something at the Eucharistic Congress. I think we gotta go really big on that.
Yeah, we gotta figure out if I'm going.
Yeah, we got to figure that out first.
We gotta get in touch with the man. Has the man let you know any more details?
No, I have not texted him. It's on my list of things to do next week.
Okay, that's great. That's good. We got enough to do this week.
Enough business. I'll talk to you. Podcast.
Yeah, no more business on the podcast. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been Dr. Ethan's Dating Corner, kind of. And I'm Dr. Ethan, and I'm the love doctor, and I have violated HIPAA many, many, many times, and I will do it again.
I have so much malpractice insurance.
I don't care how many times they try to ban me from the zoo. I will violate that HIPAA.
I have the heart of a lion and a lifetime
A
ban
lifetime
from the
ban
Chicago
from the
Zoo.
zoo. Yes. All right, everybody. bit.ly/crunch discord. That's the place to be. If you like what we do and you want an extra episode every single week, and you think this episode was worth $2, $10 a month on Patreon, that's the place to be. We have a great dedicated community that is much more intimate than the larger Discord community, and we know a lot about each other. We talk, we share things, successes, failures, prayers, all these things. So go to patreon.com/thecrunch. $10 a month would really help us out and help us keep doing what we're trying to do, including things like make a cool dating show that apparently we're going to try to do now. So
Yeah, just another thing we got to add to the plate.
I know. Patrick, you have anything else for the people?
That is serious though. Catholic Match is looking for a single man dating influencer. So if you are a single man who's on Catholic Match between the ages of 20 and 35, you should join Discord, at me on Discord, and I'll send you the application, and then you can be our inside man.
Yes,
You
the
can
inside
you can
man.
you can woo all the ladies with your. I feel
Ooh.
like this is gonna turn into a major Bachelor, like The Bachelor. You know, like.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got.
Thank you all for listening. Please pray for us. We will be praying for you, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.